purpose of me doing this is I like to over prep before I do any makeup. I wanted you to see her.
What are you putting on my face? Kombucha. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, Age Delight Anti-Pollution Essence. So this is going to prep her skin before I do any kind of skincare on her. I just use like a regular pad. And I'll kind of go up into her skin. I have her on a routine of using a Clarisonic because she works really crazy hours as a corrections officer. So her routine has to be a little different than any other client, but it's like anybody. We have different fingerprints for our own identity. That's how you have to approach your makeup and beauty, is create a look and a routine that's going to make sense for your life. So not because it's her, but just so you guys understand the purpose of prepping is you could pick up dead skin. You can get all the excess stuff that people say that they're like, oh, I love my makeup, but I feel like it's getting blotchy, or I feel like I get little dry patches. Sometimes that comes from your client either not hydrating enough, probably not using a serum, or they're just using trend products like a facial mask, but not a hydration day and night system. So that's why I like to handle the prep. I like to own that. Now, with that being said, I'm going to use the Ole Henriksen Nurture Me because she is a little bit on the drier side. I use a spatula, it's disinfected. My hands are clean as well, but when you're working with a client, I would highly advise you just making sure that you're disinfecting in front of them. It's more of a respect thing. I like to feel what I'm working with, so if it means...
Smells good.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Smells like a bubble gum.
She says it smells like bubble gum. Really around the nose because we make expression here, the chin, everywhere that I notice that my ladies show their expression, whether it's, in their eyes or anywhere else. Use the rest on my hands. I'm going to go into with the Banana Bright from Ole Henriksen. This I actually like for not just the eyes. I feel like I do a lip serum, but I do lip serums at night before I go to bed. You can use an eye cream on your lips before you do your makeup because it's not going to change the way that makeup will stick. So if you have something too emollient, it might glide into your foundation and break some of it apart around your mouth. Versus if you take a little bit of this, I'll use my ring finger, just so her lips are getting prepped while I'm doing her makeup. And if it's safe enough for your under eyes, then, you should be okay. Look all the way for me. Giving her a little bit of direction. Taking my ring finger, because it's probably one of my weaker fingers, and just making sure that, look up again. That way I'm really hydrating when I start to use some of the medium to full coverage concealers that I do use. All right, perfect. So I'll put the skincare down. This is not a sponsored video, FYI. So for those of you that are like, oh, are you getting paid to use these products? Unless it's Kendo brands, I work for them. But if it's anything else, it's just stuff that I love to use because I am a beauty lover. And I also want to make sure that anything I use is something I truly would show on a client that I work with when I'm not teaching how to sell makeup. So now, before I get into anything, I've already prepped her skin. She's nice and tacky. I like tackiness on the face because I'm going to do foundation. I will be working with... That was cute. You saw the whole side of my face. The Fenty. God. All right, so I'm gonna be working with the Fenty foundation on her. I'm thinking that, pardon me, I'm probably gonna put her into like a 190 or early 200. If you notice on her chest area, she's a little golden and the face is a little red. So I'm gonna try to make sure that anything that I'm doing from like the chest, it's kind of blending into the face. That way she looks really cohesive. Some people like using primers. I gotta admit to you, I'm not the biggest primer fan unless it's the summertime and you're going away on vacation. Because I'd rather you have a very emollient moisturizer so that if you're putting powders and stuff down, it's gonna stick. But I will for her because she is quite oily, like year-round oily. No, it's not a bad thing. That actually means you're gonna age really gracefully, is because you have those oils. All right, Alright, so I'm taking a little bit of the Ulla Henriksen Banana Bright Primer. I'm pressing it into her cheeks because this is probably where she probably feels the most oil. So you pat and press it in so that it won't go anywhere. Lower parts of the mouth, that way if she touches her face or swings her long hair back, she's not gonna get patches from constantly wiping her face with her hands. Same thing, press it in. Be very mindful of the skin. You really, really want to make sure that you're taking more time in doing your prep. Makeup is cute to put it on, but if you're not doing what you need to do to make sure that your skincare is where it needs to be, if they break down with foundation, if they don't have a good setting powder, I literally hear everything, especially, it doesn't matter age, young, old, in between, whatever you want to call yourself. I don't think of it that way. I get girls that say, oh, I love my Fenty foundation, but I feel like it's so dry for my skin. Well, when's the last time you changed your skincare? When's the last time you changed your clothes for a season? It's the same thing. So when you're changing your clothing, you should be changing your skincare by season, no matter where you live, to be honest with you. Cyril, I'm gonna start getting into her complexion now. I'm gonna try out 190 just because I haven't done a test for this just yet. I really wanted an organic moment for you guys to witness it. So we're gonna focus mostly on her complexion today. I'm gonna do a little patch test to see if this will dry down the way that I want it to. It won't oxidize. When people say that their foundations are turning darker, to me that just sounds like you're not doing enough to take care of your skin, because anything oil-free really shouldn't be oxidizing. 190 is not looking bad. Actually, it's blending in really nice. I'll take a very deliberate mark right there. I am a fan of buffing brushes. It's not going to matter who you use it by, just that you're using one. So right now I'm blending down into her skin with 190, which seems to be a perfect fit for her. Mom doesn't really tan. She thinks she does, but she doesn't. She's like one of those Latinas that just don't get color.
I don't. I never did.
I know. I seen you in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, your legs are still white.
Crazy.
But what I'll do is I take something buffing, because to me it feels like it's airbrushing it into the skin. I always tell people that when you're teaching makeup, make sure that you're using it in areas that the client can see. So she's actually looking at a mirror on the other side, which is what we're kind of filming right now. That's because if I'm just doing makeup to make her look pretty, I'm not really showing her how to do a look. I'm just doing it for my own freelance benefit, which is fine. Not everybody wants to learn how to do their makeup. Some people just want to sit down and have it done, and I respect that too. I'm doing tiny pumps of the Fenty. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, okay, perfect. Sorry, I had a hair on my face, I had to move it off. Same thing too with consistency through your mom, turn your face. Perfect. So what I'm doing is still taking my Real Techniques brush, I'm buffing it through where her little ear ends towards the jaw, because you want consistency there. You don't have to get it into your ear unless you're taking lots of pictures or you're getting recorded for film. I'm avoiding her under eyes because I know that I like to go in with a pretty good concealer, and I don't want to load her up with too much product. All right, turn the other way. Still working with 190. I'm taking shy little dots. I'm not even working with a lot. Still working on a palette. And I'm blending it down. So let me ask you, so this isn't just me talking.
Okay.
When you do your foundation, what does your routine typically look like?
When I do my foundation, well, pretty much I try to make like a little palette, like clean it up. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say. I just kind of put it on.
Like if you had 15 minutes to get ready in the morning, what's priority for you?
Priority for me has always been the eyes, foundation for sure. Definitely the, concealer.
Okay.
But I try to do lightweight because I know that as I age, you don't want it to kind of be clumpy.
Sure, okay.
Or, as hours go by, it doesn't sit the way that it does typically when you first put it on. So, am I good? Okay.
No, you're good. You're fine. Which makes sense, which is why I'm glad we're doing this video, because I feel like a lot of times I get artists that ask like, oh my god, it's so difficult to do this type of makeup, and I'm like, it's not. Your average person is mindful of where they want it, so you just have to ask them like, what's your lifestyle like? How do you want to look? Where are you going? It's okay to ask those questions. You're not offending anybody. It's just when you don't ask and you assume that they want to wear as much makeup as me.
So I try to do the neutral route because of what I do, but for the most part, I've always gotten compliments. Like, but I do like at least a 15 to 20-minute routine before I leave the house.
Okay. Which makes sense, because I feel like on average, as women, when we're trying to get out of the house, complexion is how, it's our war paint. Essentially, it's like how we feel good about ourselves. We want to feel like our skin looks good. We want to approach our day like we're ready for anything, and for us, makeup is important in that regard. So now I've gone in with Shape Tape Concealer, which is one of my personal favorites. I like things that are a medium coverage because I can manipulate the hell out of it. I'm going to take this with the Makeup Forever synthetic brush. It's usually used for cream blush, contour, but I feel like if you have any synthetic brush, use that for fucking anything. You really don't need a said concealer brush. Like, I think, hold on, here's one of them.
We're going to have to get you pique for your mouth. The dirty language.
So you could use a Royal Langnickel like little concealer brush like this. I like it just for buffing, but if I'm taking up bigger areas like the cheek, then I'm probably going to use something that's a multitasker. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. I don't want pique for my mouth. That doesn't work.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm going to go, open your eyes for me and look straight ahead. I'm just going to take this in the areas that I want to add a little bit of coverage. So for her, she doesn't have really dark under eye circles. I'm sure that we all feel different. You know, someone could be like, you have no under eye circles, and another person like, oh my god, I feel so tired. Buff.
I feel like I did. I just,
really?
Yeah, I mask it with the concealer, but because I came here, I wasn't allowed to wear any makeup.
I just didn't want to have to take off all your freaking makeup. It would have been a waste anyway because I was going to do it.
And I don't do that for anybody. I only do that when I have surgery procedures and today.
Nice. So one of the things I've always liked about my mom's routine is that she does keep it pretty simple, but makes it work for her everyday life. So like when she does wear a lip, she'll do her regular complexion like we're doing now, but then she'll add like a fun bold pop. And that literally could be the way that you dress up your makeup. It doesn't always have to be like another thick layer or pounds of makeup. Now that I'm looking at her with coverage, I'm starting to see that she's pretty balanced out. Now at this point I want to take the concealer and maybe put it in areas that she might want a little extra coverage, but I have to be mindful of texture and build up. So I'm not going to approach it where I'm just going to throw makeup wherever. I'm pretty happy with where it's at, and I even have a little bit of leftover concealer on here. This stuff is pretty, I would say full coverage, but I manipulate everything and shear it out. So I know how to play with it. And I'm kind of just taking it above for more of a highlighting motion and pressing it in. Now I'm going to have you look like this, straight ahead, look into the mirror. I just want to double check my work to make sure that I got any hollows, which for the most part I did. So at this point, I'm going to go in with the tinier brush for more detail, still not using as much makeup. And I'm brushing against the eye, almost in that little socket. Let your brush do the work and don't use a lot of product to get where you need to be. Now I'm happy with what liquid makeup I've done. I'm gonna put that there. I always have a napkin in my hand to wipe my hands as I go. I do want to try highlighter on you because I know you were asking me the last time, and everyone thinks that this is just for young people, and it's not. Sometimes I think young people use too much of it, and I'm like, that's enough. Just because you have this doesn't mean you have to rub the whole thing on.
Oh my goodness.
It's true. Like, everything in moderation. So I'm taking a Marc Jacobs highlighter. This one is called Guilty, which I love because it's like gilded gold. And I'm going to press this on her wet makeup. I'm using a natural brush. I'm avoiding her under eye area because I don't want to add texture from the shimmer underneath there. I have to be mindful of where I put it on her, is not to add focus where she doesn't necessarily want it. I'm going to go in here. And you can look in the mirror, Mom, if you want to see placement. You don't have to like be still.
No, I do want to see.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
It's pretty. It's soft. Nice. So then I'm gonna go in with a setting powder. I know everyone's on this whole like baking? They're baking powder. And I'm like, we don't bake, we're cooking. We're trying to keep this together. It's done. So, pardon me. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of powder. Let me bring this up closer. There's the powder. Here's the velour puff. I'm pushing my puff in. This will be better for her because she's oily than me taking a brush. If I take a brush and powder, I'm not gonna get the pores where I need them. So it's almost like I'm grazing the pores versus taking a velour and securing it into the areas that I really, really want longevity for the day. Because we're going to dinner later. She's trying to take me to dinner, but I'm trying to cook for her, whatever. So where she gets oily, where her makeup starts to break down, that's exactly where I want to set her immediately. I don't have a lot of powder for her because she's not, like I actually do like when a little bit of the sheen comes in from your real skin, but you have to think about all the areas that someone is probably going to get oily. And it's, again, not a bad thing, but I know her skin is more on the oily side. So for someone who is more of oily skin type, don't be afraid to press, roll it in. Because by the second hour, their sheen comes in and it looks more like lived-in makeup. I'm going to go back in, get on the nose, get the forehead. Really, really, really work it in. My pressure is pretty up there. Like, it's not the most delicate, but I've been doing her makeup for a little while, so she knows.
Feels like a little massage.
Yeah, it's almost like we're going. Yeah. So, Mom, let me ask you this. When you guys were wearing makeup back in the day, like, what were you guys allowed to wear?
Oh, my goodness. What, as a young...
Yeah, like in the 80s and the 90s.
I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. I came from a house where you didn't wear makeup, you know, but when I started sneaking my little makeup, it would always consist of blush was a staple, your lipstick. Eyeliner I did, but I noticed that I didn't need eyeliner like a lot of people wear it, you know? I just don't...
Well, you do have thick eyelashes. You've always had really good thick eyelashes.
I've always had the eyelashes, but that was pretty much what we did back then. Very simple. It wasn't.
Who were some of your like glamour girl icons in like the 80s and the 70s?
The glamour icons for the 70s.
Yeah, it could be guy or girl. Like, who was your style icon? Who was your like makeup person?
Well, Jackie O was my style, but she was very like demure. She was just very simple, but very glam. What's the other one? Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Marilyn Monroe. She was another one, in her own way, in her own style. I'm trying to think of other ones. I mean, I've had a lot over the years. The one that played Mommy Dearest.
Oh, Joan Crawford? Really?
She was, yeah.
She was freaking crazy.
The one that played Alexis Colby. She was another one, you know. Farrah Fawcett. You have a lot of, you know. She was.
You know who I've been loving lately, and I just feel like she's aging so gracefully, is Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda, yes. And she's, you know what it is? At that age, you're secure as a older woman, but yet she struts it very well. I want to be like that.
Yeah.
There's another one, Jane Fonda, and what's the other one that's in that show? It's a makeup show too that I keep telling you to watch. Oh my gosh, she's like 60-something years of age. Cindy?
Christy Brinkley?
Christy Brinkley, there you go.
Okay.
She's like very, I don't know what they do, how long it takes, but they just look very simple.
Takes a team. It's never that like...
But you know what, even with me, of course I came here looking crazy.
You didn't look crazy.
But for the most part, you know, you put your little makeup, your clothes, the things that make you feel good, they don't look like they try as hard, even though they have a lot of money, and so they have a team of people that put them together. But she just looks, for an older lady that's 62, she looks well put together.
She looks amazing. I agree.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it too is like when you see Cindy Crawford or Linda Evangelista or Naomi Campbell, all of them have taken really good care of their skin, which is why I always stress the importance of good skincare, is because you could wear makeup and it can mask, you know, certain things, but you're not gonna, when you wipe the makeup off, you're still gonna see what's underneath of it. So, you know, they're religious with serums.
Yeah, you have to take care from even before the makeup. You have to water.
Take the makeup off properly, do a double cleanse.
Yeah.
A makeup wipe isn't enough. I think a common thing I hear with a lot of women is that they're relying on a makeup cloth to remove the makeup and then they go to sleep. Sometimes you just need to get in there, and the makeup cloth is going to remove what the naked eye can see. If you don't have a Clarisonic at home, get a big bundle of like washcloths, throw them in the washer, wash them out, and use a fresh one every night to take off any residual foundation, blush, stuff that's in your hairline from wearing makeup. You know, it's fun to do, but you just have to make sure that you're doing it the right way.
And remove it, I mean.
So what I did with my mom here is I took a little bit of the Kat Von D powder in medium brown, because some of the brow is missing some of its shape from waxing. I just go in with a pencil. The pencil I'm using though is Anastasia, so I'm going back and forth. I have, I filled it in, because if she does get sweaty or oily, this will be like a waterproof area and it won't move. Where she already has enough hair, so I'm kind of just giving her the frame that she already had. All right. I'm using a puff on my pinky just because I don't want to use my warmth of my hand and oil, and I'm pressing and creating a little blotch pocket. So I'm using it from the beginning of where her nostril is here, boop, end of the nose to end of the eye. I already know that she doesn't really have too much of an arch, but if we were trying to find an arch on your client, look straight ahead, Mom, you would go from the tip of the nose through her iris, and it would be right here. Right there. Perfect. So now I'm just going underneath the new growth. So if you've had your eyebrows waxed and some little parts of the hair doesn't come back the same way, this is literally every client I have. Everyone will always like rag on how bad their eyebrows are, but the truth of the matter is that like if you grew up in the 90s like I did, thin eyebrows were really, really popular. It was like late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. So you can't grow some of that hair back. You just go underneath and you just kind of flick it upward.
I think it's like an instant facelift when you do it correctly.
Oh yeah, because you get the framing of where that brow should be. I'm so glad you said that. I'm just working with what she naturally has to make the shape. I'm not trying to make her look fake. I'm not trying to give her a trendy, boxy brow that you see on Instagram. I love edited makeup. I think that it's fun, but it's not realistic when people come in and they ask like a makeup artist, like, can you create this look? And the person's like, I can create something like it, but you're not gonna look like that person. That's just like the reality, nor should we want to. Embrace your cultural features, your ethnicity. So if you like bold colors or you like whatever it might be. My Latinas always like a good bold red lip or something neutral. So whatever it is, embrace it. Don't feel like you have to like lessen that look. There's different levels to your makeup. Just like when you get dressed up, there's going to be moments that you want comfy cash like I have now, or you might want to be a little more dressed up. So your makeup you should pick accordingly. I'm doing her more for like every day. Not like anything too crazy. It's just a casual dinner hanging around locally. So not too much going on. So now when I look at you, eyebrows are balanced. I'm going to start to get into your sculpting your face with bronzer. My favorite one is Marc Jacobs in Tantastic. I don't know if you could see it. Tantastic. Tantastic is nice because it looks like real tan, and it doesn't make you look like you were trying really hard with a bad bronzer. Not every bronzer is created equally. I'm gonna go in, don't laugh, is the e.l.f. brush. It's like a $7 brush with like a $60 bronzer.
Oh my goodness.
I love this stupid brush. Look, I have...
It does the same thing as...
Yeah, like I have fancy brushes.
Some of the bristles are more softer than others.
Yeah. I mean, I have my makeup for everyone, but like this is when I'm going out and I want to be sculpted. Like I want that, I look like Naomi Campbell look. Now this, I'm just going to take from where her hairline is. I'm staying in this specific area because I want to make sure that I'm creating a little gradient effect of like the highest dark point. Mom, turn your face. And I'm going to go right here. I'm just kind of keeping my hand fast motion, but I'm always going up. I'm always doing this. And even when you're contouring somebody for like an event, go where the volume is. Don't do one of these crazy like stage performance makeup. Go under the ear like it's plastic surgery and just blend it, because then it kind of creates this pretty little shadow. I'm gonna go into her hairline too. I like for the hair to kind of be pushed back, which is why I have her also in this. So for some of my newer artists, if you're wondering why, it pushes the contours of the skin upward when you do makeup too. Look straight ahead. Turn this way. I don't like to go down on the face. I've seen people where they do this. What you do is you're cutting off the volume of her face. This isn't stage makeup. If I needed to remove volume from her face, that's what I would do. But I like the plumpness of a cheek. You want the cheek to feel like it's healthy and luminous and radiant. And if you take too much contour to it, you're kind of knocking it out of the way and it kind of disappears. Something that's warmer is going to make the skin look like you had a beautiful vacation. And it's just some of that like Miami color. Getting into her hairline is going to help it give that more cohesive look, so she's not just brown here and then white at the top of her forehead. Because she is a Fenty 190? 190. Okay. Look straight ahead. So I'm going to go into your widow's peak.
What in the world did you call that? Widow's peak? Jesus
this
Christ.
Is you have like a little Dracula hairline.
You're insane. Oh my goodness.
I want a Dracula hairline. I don't have one of those. It's fucking cool.
Oh my God. Wait till I go to work. I have a widow's peak.
Yeah. So I'm just buffing. I'd rather take my time on her complexion and make her look like, you know, we're doing a pretty bronzer and I'm not just making her look like high contrast white in the middle of her forehead, high contrast like contour. Everything needs to make sense and have levels to it. It's essentially like painting a picture. I'm even kind of taking it and continuing to blend it out. Mom, turn your face.
Oh, this way?
Yeah, this way. Perfect. All right, look straight again. All right. So are you learning anything as we're doing this, or you feel like this is stuff that you normally do?
I'm learning some stuff. I just learned about my widow's peak, so I guess that's a good thing. No, I always take in what you share with me all the time. I get a lot of compliments at work, especially my age, and you know what I'm saying? I like to look representable. Just because you're aging doesn't mean you have to look crappy.
Well, and the good news is that we're all aging, so you're not in it by yourself.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Sometimes you reach a certain age and people just kind of quit. Oh, it's too much effort. It's too much this. For me, I've always, you've known me from when I was younger, I can't step out of the house looking like I like death.
You used to say to me, you never know who you're going to bump into or who you're going to see.
You never know. And it's not just that, it's love
yourself.
yourself.
Do it for yourself, yeah.
Do it for yourself. I always say that, you know, take care of you, love you, and makeup is a part of that for me.
Because I don't want you to feel too powdery. Close your eyes and mouth. I'm going to use Marc Jacobs spray. I want to do this far away because I'm doing so many powders on her right now. Cool. All right. So, let's see. I want to assess what I've done so far. We could do lips. But you don't really... Okay, what have you been wearing for lips lately? Because sometimes you go for mauve, you do reds.
I do mauve for work, depending. Because at work, you don't want... I work with convicts, so you don't want to look too...
You don't want to look sexy for work?
No, but I still want to represent myself, my age, and me being a woman. I don't want to look like a guy either. So I kind of keep it very neutral.
Okay.
When I'm with my family, then anything goes. I like color. I like the newer things and stuff like that. When I'm at work, I'm just kind of like, I try to keep it neutral.
All right, that's fair. So we'll pretty much do a play off of that. I'm gonna do a little bit of the Kevin Aquan lip liner, which is really nice because it's like a classic old school traditional pencil. You get the glide, but it doesn't feel like some of the ones that I've had before where it feels skippy. This is not a skippy pencil at all. It's very creamy. Again, I'm working off of a palette, or I will be. I'm going from the lower part of her lips, kind of just starting at the very, very bottom. And I'll go from the edge of the lip here because I want to create the illusion of volume. So as we age, we always are going to have a meatier bottom lip, but the top part of your lip, you can actually fake volume if you go from the edge and draw upwards. Don't pull your skin because your skin's going to retract back to where it needs to be, almost like an elastic rubber band. I'll come in on this side here. It's looking good. Okay. Just kind of, you know where we have that little gray area of our lip? Like, we're like, is it lip? Is it skin? Like not skin, but like, what is it? I'm just following that. Take your time because you're not supposed to create like a perfect line. You're just kind of filling in that area. Now, one of the things that you'll notice that you're going to keep seeing me do, and I know we're kind of late in the video at this point, but I go based off of the strength of my hand. So this is my strong hand for when I do makeup. So I work based off of my client. She should be enjoying the experience and looking from afar. I'm literally keeping my hand like this so she can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. It's more of a courtesy and a respect for your client who's paying for the experience. It has nothing to do with you in a makeup reveal show. I think sometimes we like to sit people this way and do makeup from that point. But then the client's like, well, I just spent $300, $400, $500 on makeup and you didn't show me anything. So thank you, I'll buy it, but they're probably not gonna wanna come back to you. So just be kind. Imagine it's your mom or your sister, whomever. We're gonna go from the bottom of the lip. Same thing here. Connecting what I did early on when I started at the very bottom. And guys, this isn't like the be-all end-all. This is just my method of doing lips. It's just the easier way for me to do it.
I think the lip liner, like the framing of the eyebrows, is a staple too, because it gives it that clean definition, as opposed to just wearing lipstick.
Yeah. Every time I look at the face, so I think of things in like circles, right? So your face is like a circle, your eyes like a circle, your lips are like a little half circle minus the bow. Everything deserves to have some depth and some brightness to it. It's not like, you know, you look at your favorite features. Like, what's your favorite feature on your face?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's my cheekbones.
Cheekbones? Mm-hmm. See? So then you dress it up every day. That's where you spend time, is your little contour. It doesn't have to be a lot. So I'm just taking a synthetic brush from Makeup Forever again. I'm going from where I started at the end of the lip. I use my hand as an anchor every time I touch her face or her lips. I'm going like this, like I'm painting. And I have, again, this little puff, so I can use it to move around. I don't want my oily fingers to remove her makeup because I set it. And this is a Marc Jacobs liquid lipstick. This one I like because it doesn't feel really dry or matte. It just feels like it's hugging the lip and it's going to move with her throughout the night. And always forget how hot this light makes me feel. Are you warm?
I'm good.
Okay, as long as you're comfortable. Make sure that you check in with your clients as you're doing looks. For those of you that do freelance stuff, you know, making sure that their experience is a pleasant experience is why they go to you, so just always be mindful of that. I'll do a little bit of eye. I don't want to get too fussy because the focus of this video is already a 30-minute video, but I want to keep it short and, you know, easy to attain for you guys out there. Ooh, we should do a little bit of gloss. Who doesn't like a good lip gloss? We'll do the Fenty one.
You know what I find is that they have more makeup for the younger girls as opposed to the older or women that are reaching a certain age. And it seems like they cater when the people that wear it and want to wear it and need it are the people of our age, our age group. It's like, make more videos like this.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I hear this a lot when I travel is like, you know, women who are a little older than me, and you can look straight ahead.
Okay.
Women that are a little bit older than me, and they tend to feel like, you know, no one will want to help them because they don't look youthful or they're not wearing as much makeup. And that's not what it's about. It's really about knowing when to take a step back and make a beautiful makeup and when to kind of create a look for maybe an event. One of the things I always find with women is like, how much time do you spend? Ask your client, how much time do you spend? Because that's what's going to determine what kind of look you're doing. If you're not asking, I know it seems so like basic, how much time do you spend getting ready on average? Because that will help me identify what kind of look I would do on her. She could show me a look of an Instagram person and I can realistically tell her, hey, I love that look. Let's try to modify it for your everyday and make it more about her. It's about her. People watch videos because they want to learn. They're not watching videos because they're lack of interest in learning, but we have to be realistic, whether you're doing somebody's hair, whether you're doing somebody's nails. What another artist can do is not what another artist can do. Modify it and make it make sense for them. So while I was talking a lot, I'm using a Natasha Denona palette with Anastasia brush. What I'm doing is just creating a little bit of depth at the edge of her eye because I did so much foundation and concealer, so all of that brightening up kind of made me lose sight of her crease, and I don't want to lose that. So I'm just taking a buffing brush. This could be literally, this is my what I call my lazy makeup. I'll take this, blend it, almost like I'm going from the edge and always blend in, always blend in. Look straight ahead. It doesn't have to be like a crazy eye look, but it's just something that we say older, but everybody has like this little volume of skin and you want to push it back, and this is the best way to do it. And I'm kind of taking it outwards because she's got nice eye shapes, so I can kind of go past a certain point. I am going to do eyeliner on you because you don't really wear eyeliner that much these days.
But when I do, I go like, I don't do it all the way.
You go about a third of the way?
Yes, I do that because I tend to, I notice that when you go all the way, it just doesn't, that's not me.
No, when I look at someone's eye shape, as I have to look at where the little skin folds for everybody, it's not just you. I don't think everyone looks good with a winged eyeliner, despite, I know there's videos out there and they're like, how to do a winged eyeliner if you have a hooded eye. And guess also, what? I have a hooded eye. I can't take my shit up there that high. I have to go sideways because that's what my eye space affords me to do. For her, she's got nice open eyes, but I'm gonna do it in a way that makes it look more like a flirty lash and less like the makeup is being worn. She needs to look like it's a part of her, not like it's about the makeup. What were you gonna tell me?
I forgot. Oh no, the color of the eyeliners. You gave me I think it was brown. The brown
like a good chocolate.
It actually kind of blends in nicely.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll show you.
It still gives you the definition, but without like
the harshness.
Yeah, because some ladies, what's that lady, the church lady back in the day, used to wear the caked on. I try not to go that route. She had like caked on eye makeup. I'm like, oh my God.
So I'm going to do black and brown, but I'm going to do black Kat Von D liner. I'm going to have you look down almost like you're looking at your knee. Just bring your chin up.
Okay.
There you go. I go at the edge of the eye, and I'm going this way. Like nobody breathes when they do eyeliner because it like you just have to.
Still.
It's a calligraphy. I'm just like.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so when you look straight in the mirror, I can see that it's more like in her lash line at the end. I almost do like a quarter of the way. And look down again. You naturally have really good thick eyelashes, so I feel like I do this just for fun. But usually if I'm doing liner on someone, it's because I want their lashes to look thick. Look straight ahead. You can keep looking straight ahead. I'm just going to connect where it skipped. I try not to take liner and do this to a client because she'll be scared. So I do it more sideways, side to side. Let them look, let them stare, let them do what they need to do. But don't scare them. Even if they tear up, the best thing any artist can have is a Q-tip and whatever moisturizer you were using, and you can just boop, clean it up. And don't use a lot, just take like a little leftover moisturizer and I can just clean it up. So now I'm gonna go in with a, actually, you know what? Because you want like a really like good line, but not anything like too crazy. I don't want it to be like a very hard liner. I'm gonna do the little
I don't
fine
like
liners.
the Tammy, what is it, Tammy Faye? She said, I'm like, who did her makeup?
All the references.
That's pretty bad.
So then you'll be a big fan of the fine liner from Marc Jacobs.
Okay.
This one's really nice because it's made to be skinny, so you get the precision where you need it, but you don't need to press hard. It's really creamy. But I will go in with a like a little brush like this to push it around. So we're gonna almost play double dutch here. I'm gonna have you look all the way up, blink as much as you need to. I'm gonna take the brown and kind of connect it into the black at the end of her eye. I only did like a, hold on, like turn your face this way. There you go. All right. I'm working at the edge of her eye because that's where I want the drama. I don't want like just freaking lines coming from her eyes because I feel like it'll look too heavy. You won't see her shape anymore. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
I do. That looks pretty.
It seems very basic, but it's when you see black and brown together, that little bit of contrast makes the eyes look, you know, really appealing. Look all the way up and blink as much as you need to. Again, I'm connecting the black and the brown at the very edge of the eye. Turn this way. And I'm just blending again. Blending, blending. Because I did a creamy pencil and I did set her with powder, I'm also going to take the extra measure and I'm going to go in with this palette and I'm going to go in with almost like a tobacco kind of brown because I don't want it to be like really hard. Look all the way up. And I'm just setting it. Taking a little bit of a lighter powder gives you a gradient effect so you have like your dark to light. Look up again. When you use a really skinny brush like this, it's almost like a little pencil. To me, kind of like a pencil eraser. But I'm taking it and I can delicately rub the product in her lash line, lower lash line. So it gives it like a soft, smoky effect. Now I gotta do your hair.
I told you I was gonna get it. I wanted highlights again.
You do
But
highlights
that takes
again.
like 2-3 hours by the time it's all said and done.
I know, I have to like commit a whole day to it. I'm
Me
like,
too.
let me bring magazines and a book. I'm gonna do some mascara on you. Because you've got really, really, really long lashes, I'm gonna do this because I've seen certain things smudge on you.
Okay.
Look down. I'm gonna lift her eye skin up a little so she can blink. But if she moves her eye, she won't mess up what I'm doing. Okay, give your eye a minute. Sometimes you'll find that you get a little smudgy. If it happens, just move it off. I can always go back and clean it up. She's got really long eyelashes. I don't get myself worked up over things that are gonna naturally happen when I do makeup because it is what it is. Take a Q-tip, clean it up, and then you're done. Look down for me again. And most of it, if you notice, is on my finger. So every time she was fluttering, it hit my finger, which is why you want to push their skin up. Look down. There you go. While she looks down, it just allows her to flutter to get moisture into her eyes so that I'm not making her dry and she's not tearing. But if she were to tear, I would tell her to tilt her head back. Tilt your head back. Rest her face like that. And then the tears would flow sideways so it doesn't mess up the front of her makeup. Look straight. I didn't want you to say I was like showing your chin. Just trying to be respectful. People get pissed off at me for stuff like that.
You're crazy.
Let's see if there's anything else. I'm gonna bring this close up. Do you want to take your? We'll pull this off.
Oh my goodness, my hair didn't get done, guys. Sorry.
Oh my God, you have like mermaid hair. Shush.
No, I don't. Oh my, look at this.
So I'm gonna adjust the lighting a bit.
I needed to get my hair done.
So that's the end of it. Turn your face. Turn again. So she's got some sheen. She's got some liner, eyebrows. I'm gonna have to blow her hair out and give her some volume, but that's pretty much it. If you guys have questions, if there's something you felt like you took away from this, then give me a shout out, let me know. Tell me what's working. Tell me what you want to see. Bye.
Bye.